Hello, I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, and this is Mature Living. Thank you for staying with us. We have an interesting show planned for you, a lot of great conversations on the couch here at Mature Living, and one of them today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Advantage plans, a little bit about Medicaid, and how our community can benefit from this information we're going to share. So we've invited Jessica Rojas. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Thank you for being with us.
Hi.
And you are with UNICARE Health Plus, right?
Yes, it's UNICARE plans. We're located on downtown, close to West Fargo Bank and CVS. So we're brokers. We work with all the Medicare plans. And what we also do, we help our members, our community, to give them a little bit more information how they can qualify for the extra benefits, like how I can qualify for Medicaid, how I can qualify for QMB, MQMB, how could I qualify to get my drug prescriptions, all my prescriptions at a lower price. So that's what we usually do. We help our members if they have questions, we have the answers.
Okay, very good. And so give us a little bit of a breakdown with the A and B benefits and a little bit about the Advantage Part C. And then we want to ask you in a minute about frequently asked questions when you go out to health fairs and different places where you reach the community. Tell me a little bit about the Parts A and B.
Okay, well, it's
Medicare.
The Medicare. It's basic. It's A and B. So that's the only thing Medicare is. It's the Part A and the Part B of hospital and medical. It's only covered 80%.
Okay.
The reason that all these plans, all the Medicare Advantage plans come in, and the Medicaid portion, it's because the Medicare plans help pay the 20% that the Medicare is not paying. And of course, Medicaid, what it does, it's from the states, and what they do, the Medicaid pays the premium for Part B. Part B has a premium each month that it's how you can see it's being deducted from your check every month. So Medicaid, what it does, they pay for that premium. Okay. Instead of being deducted every month from your check, the state is paying for it.
Okay. And the Advantage plans, I know we hear a lot about Advantage plans.
Yes, we have new products that we have here in the county, and it has been like so nice because plans, we have several companies that now they're helping the members actually pay the Part B. So instead of them paying for it, now they're seeing that now they are the plan, the insurance, it's paying for the Part B. So that's something really nice, and you don't have to have Medicaid or any subsidy to qualify for that. Like anyone can qualify for that benefit.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit, are there extra benefits? What are some of the frequently asked questions when you go out to health fairs?
What are the frequently asked questions? So there's a lot, but mostly, how do I know if I can qualify for Medicaid? I always tell them, go to Human Resources. They will help you, and they will clear all your questions that you have, because sometimes a lot of people, they don't know that actually they can qualify for subsidies. Like probably it's not going to be the whole Medicaid, but if it is going to be a subsidy, and probably the subsidy could be like they can help them with the medication at low cost, or paying the Part B. The state could pay for that. So I recommend that you go to Human Resources and just ask them, because you never know.
Yeah, and that would be Human Resources where you work?
Human Resources, it's
yeah.
Human Resources, it's the state. It's when you go apply like for the food stamps, for the Medicaid. That's the place.
state.
Or you can also do it online. You can go online, just search for Human Resources El Paso, and it's gonna take you directly. And actually, it's like very easy and friendly because you're gonna create an account, and all the updates you're gonna be getting them there.
Okay, very good. Do most seniors qualify for Medicaid in El Paso?
Here in El Paso, we have a large amount of people, a percentage that they can qualify for a subsidy.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so a lot of seniors can qualify for that benefit.
And Jessica, do you have a website?
Yes, definitely. You can go to Jessica. Jessica, you can send me an email. It's going to be very friendly. Jessica at unicarehp.com.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and explain a little bit about what so many people don't understand. And hopefully you'll make it easy and, like you say, friendly, and you can explain to our seniors especially.
Oh, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for the invitation.
Good to meet you.
It was nice meeting you.
And we'll be back with more guests on Mature Living. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Mary Yanez, and of course, this is Mature Living. We're going to enjoy this conversation talking to Meghan Currie, who is the Executive Director of the Insights El Paso Science Center. And so she's come to tell us about all the activities that they've been involved with in this mobile science event. I used to be a board member of the Insights many, many years ago when we had the building. But things have changed. Tell me a little bit about. Okay, Meghan, we got to introduce you first. Tell me a little bit about you.
Sure. So I've been living in El Paso now for 6 years, and I've been with Insights almost 2 years.
Very good. You've got quite a bit of background, and you've done quite a lot of things at your young age.
I've had all kinds of jobs. I've been an entomologist. That's what my educational background is in. I've been a teacher. I've started new programs at schools. I've had my own business. And I think at this point I've finally figured out what I want to do when I grow up, which is work for Insights. I love this job.
Really, I can imagine. Tell me about Insights. When was it founded and who founded it?
Insights was founded by the Dodsons all the way back in 1979. So we've been doing hands-on science now for almost 40 years. We've had different locations throughout the city. And what we're doing now as a completely mobile science, technology, engineering, art, and math education service is in a different format than I think a lot of the community's used to. But we are still really excited about the programming that we're providing, and our mission is still definitely the same.
And after the building was gone, you reinvented yourselves, and now you're mobile.
Yes.
And you're out in the community and still reaching great numbers with your programming and your speakers and.
Yes, we have a number of different programs to serve the community now. We've been active as a mobile museum for about 1.5 years, and we've served almost 6,000 people with hands-on education programs in all kinds of places throughout the community.
And the topics are always science, technology. Tell me about STEAM. That is such a great
Well,
acronym.
We've adopted STEAM along with a lot of other organizations in El Paso, and we started looking at the job market and the way in which we're preparing our students for the future. An estimated 65% of the jobs that our kids in school right now are going to be facing don't even exist yet. We know they're going to be heavy in technology, but we don't quite know what they're going to be. So we're focusing on STEM education to make sure that our workforce in El Paso is prepared for the future.
Absolutely. That is such an interesting concept. Tell me about the mobile concept of Insights.
Sure. Well, without a building, we've now focused on bringing our educational programs out and into the community, meeting people where they are. So we do after-school workshops on campus with different school districts. We do tons of different summer camps with school districts, YMCA groups, Boy Scout troops all over the place. We do pop-up museum events in places like Waco Tanks, the shopping mall, the farmers market. We take a big pop-up event tent and a bunch of our different mobile exhibits and our volunteers, and we go out and provide a whole program in a unique space. I think
that must be you're the executive director, and that must be difficult to coordinate. So you have staff on board.
We do.
And I did serve with the Dodsons, back early in the days of Insights, when I served on the board. So when you mentioned that name, I said, yes, that was it. And of course, Wade Warling was a fire chief, and he was also serving in that. But tell me a little bit about Sunland Park, New Mexico. What's
Sure.
going on there?
So a number of years ago, there was a graduate student sitting out at a field camp during a class at UTEP, and he was staring at a slab of rock, and he was thinking, those look like dinosaur footprints. The property that they were on was owned by Stanley Job at the time and was being quarried at the time. However, they still allowed access for UTEP Geology to go out to the site and practice surveying and things like that. And once the dinosaur tracks were discovered and verified, they found thousands more. They found tons of aquatic fossils, a bunch of really neat trace fossils that are unique to the area. And Stanley Job generously donated the property to Insights El Paso Science Center to be protected and developed as an educational resource.
How awesome. So you have tours over there?
We do.
Hiking, or what is it?
Absolutely. We offer a 2-mile guided hiking tour of the Dino Track site that'll visit 10 different sites along the way. We do a public tour the first Sunday of each month. That'll be at 9 a.m. in the warmer months and at 1 p.m. during the cooler months. And then we also schedule school tours and private tours upon request.
And so many people benefit, not only young people benefit from the tours and the activities and the pop-up, events that you have. Do you need volunteers, by the way?
Always. We could always
that.
use more volunteers to get, especially our mobile exhibits, out and into the community to do
Yes.
more pop-up museum events.
And who are you targeting as far as your volunteers? Who would be beneficial to the Insights Museum concept and mission?
Retired teachers, UTEP alumni, especially with the retired teachers. This summer we're working on expanding a core of trained facilitators that understand our curriculum, they know where our materials are, and they would be ready to go out and provide programming upon request. So
you would have training, huh? You would train.
Yes, we are going to be hosting a training for retired teachers this summer. So if you're a retired teacher and you'd like to get involved with STEM education and Insights, we'll train you on your circuitry sets, robotics, engineering design, and upon request from different school districts or other educational groups, we'll get you back out and into the field with stipend and training and materials.
Super. Well, congratulate your board and all their staff and all the volunteers, and we certainly hope that the Insights Museum continues for another 40 years.
Absolutely.
And with your knowledge and your passion, it's gonna be successful. We want to give your phone number where they can get a hold of you, and can you give us also your website?
Our website is insightselpaso.org, and if you go to the contact page, you'll find an email to reach us at and also a phone number.
Okay, super. Is there anything that I missed that I needed to ask, or a message that you want to put
We
out?
do have all kinds of programming throughout the summer, so we offer tours of the Dinosaur Track site, and then we also offer our Nerd Night events, which are adult education events in different bars and restaurants throughout the city. So we'll bring in different speakers and activities and provide kind of a fun informal space where you can learn about the chemistry of beer production, the physics of cycling, commercial space, all kinds of different things. And that's once a month throughout the city.
And it's called the
Nerd Night Events. And so the best way to find out about our different events, whether it's a pop-up museum or a Nerd Night event, is to join our newsletter on the website, or you can also follow us on Facebook.
Very good. Well, we want to thank you for being with us, and reminding us that Insight exists. It's all over the place. What a great concept, because you go to the community, and that is amazing.
It's a lot of fun. We get to be creative in how we create learning experiences in unexpected places all throughout the region.
And you're accepted, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, people get excited when they know that Insight's going to be there. Thank you so much for being with us here on Mature Living, and we hope you get a lot of calls from
you.
retired teachers. Come on down and you help this museum, because STEAM is very important for young people, students, and for adults too.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for staying with us. For our last conversation, we want to talk about safety, and we want to talk about the fire department, how great these firefighters are, and they have different departments. But we're going to talk about the community risk reduction section, and we've invited Wyatt Schmidt, who is a fire paramedic inspector, and then Dolores D. You go by D. Dolores Gomez, and you're the fire code compliance inspector. That we're going to be talking to you in a minute. But just recently, I went to a fair at the El Paso Community College Valle Verde campus, and it was a celebration. And the fire department was there with a table. So I signed up for a fire alarm, which my fire alarm was, I think, dated 2001 or something really ridiculous. But it was time to check those fire alarms. Tell me a little bit about that program you have and these new types of fire alarms that you have available. And thank you for being with us.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for inviting us. We have a couple of different programs. Our most common program, and that we've had for a long time, is our smoke alarm systems. We go out and we install audible alarms, up to 3 of them in the home for free.
Yes. As a matter of fact, he thought I needed 2. I had just 1 in the home, but he said you need something near the bedroom around the corner of the hall. So that was very nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Very
yes, ma'am.
nice.
And that's what we try to do, is assess
Are
the
these
need.
new models?
Yes, these are the 10-year model, this 10-year lithium battery. You don't have to take out or replace the batteries. They're not electric. The battery lasts for 10 years. We install the alarm. You don't have to call us back for another 10 years unless you have a problem with it.
And you can check it also, he told me. You
Yes,
can
ma'am.
check it every so often?
That is correct. There's a button on it, and we actually ask that the resident tests it at least once a month.
Once a month. Okay.
You push it, you get 2 sets of 3 beeps, and it's good.
You're good to go.
Yes, ma'am.
What other units do you have available for the community? And you have to sign up for these, so they have to get your information.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's correct. The other program that we have, and this one isn't very old at all. We just started it the beginning of the year, end of last year maybe. And this is our deaf community hard of hearing smoke alarm system. And the reason we refer to it as a system is because there's 3 components to it. There's an audible detector and alarm, just like this one. There is a strobe, and it is of course, a very bright strobe visual. It is a smoke detector as well.
Very good.
And so either one of those are placed in the house strategically, especially this one, so it could be seen from the majority of the house. And this device is a bed shaker. And it is not a detector, it just senses these other alarms going off. And now it has a small strobe on it as well for the bedroom. And it has a disc that vibrates and wakes the person up, because of course,
so
deaf or hard of hearing, a lot of people have, when they take out their hearing aids, they can't hear it. So.
That is so amazing, and technology is good for us, and from this aspect,
Yes, ma'am.
It's so good. And so these systems are available for the community, and how do they sign up, or when do they sign up?
Yes, ma'am. Probably the best way to sign up, the easiest way, would be to just simply dial 311, advise the individual answering the phone that you're interested in the smoke detector program.
Yes.
And they'll go ahead and fill out a form for you. They'll ask you some questions at the very end. They'll ask you if you're a member of deaf community or hard of hearing, and they'll fill that out appropriately.
Very good.
Another way is that they can go to the El Paso Fire Department website, which is epfire.org. And it's right on the very front page for the smoke alarm systems.
Very good. Dee, I have a lot of questions for you as well. And I want to start by asking you about the program, the education program that you come to talk to us about falls, preventing falls, cooking fires, smoking, candles, which our seniors, very, very religious. They have their little candles. But tell me about your work and what you're doing in this area.
Okay, what this usually, it is a program and it is put out by the National Fire Protection Association, also known as NFPA. They put this program out together and it's called Remembering When. It's got 18 topics and there's different ones, so I only brought a couple of them that come with the program. We do go out to the senior citizen centers and we give this program out specifically for them. On preventing falls, we talk about, and it covers about the carpets and slippings and fallings. If you have the carpets, make sure they don't slip. And then we also cover the stair safety. If they have to come up and down stairs, make sure that they have the proper footing, they wear the proper shoes. If you have to get up from a chair, make sure you get up really slowly so that you don't fall and trip. And so that's part of the preventing the falls. There's also cooking fires. That is covered on here. When we cook, we also tell people, please wear short sleeves or tight-fitting clothes, especially on the sleeves when you're cooking.
That's right.
If they don't leave it unattended, say for some reason somebody rings the doorbell or the phone rings and they're cooking and they leave the pot on the stove, they walk away from it. So now that's
I've done that.
Unattended cooking.
And I go, ooh, but then I run to the kitchen and say, I left something on, but it happens so often. And,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it shouldn't happen at all. Turn it off.
And then turn it off, okay?
And we'll go do your business, yes.
And then sometimes if we tell them if your pot just happens to catch on fire, please just don't put water on it. If you just put a lid on it, you will smother the oxygen and the fire should go out. Okay?
This is great education.
I
And
mean,
I'm,
like I
I'm
said-
at fault for all of those things. The tapetes, the famous
The slip and falls, right.
rugs, the flip-flops, outside. I've tripped and fallen on flip-flops.
Right.
I got rid of those.
See, and this
Not
is
for
something
me.
that it covers on that too, on what proper shoes to wear, something with good footing that's anti-slip.
Yes.
And that's what it covers as well. Another area that it usually covers is your smoking. Okay, with the smoking, we make sure that you don't fall asleep or you don't smoke while you're in bed. If you're smoking in the home, sometimes we tell them to get your deep dish ashtrays, and then you keep it's a deep one to hold your ashes in it. And then if you're going to put them in the trash can, make sure that they're cool. You don't want to put them into a trash can and it's still lit and it's still hot, because now we're going to have a fire.
Yes.
And again,
And
just like if you're
candles.
if you're asleep. And candles is mainly, usually, like you said, it's the elderly with the religious candles, especially during the holidays. We try and tell them to keep them away from children, trying to keep them away from pets, especially pets, because pets, usually cats, are curious. We can tell you stories about those, but that would be a different show.
Yeah, it's a lot of stories, I'm sure. And is there a proper way to put a base on it?
Okay,
On
they
a
do have
candle?
the metal. They have metal bases that you can put them on, especially the pillared ones where you have the small, medium, and then your large one. I have seen where they have the metal containers that you can actually pierce the candle into and leave them on your table, or if you can put a dish with water.
Yes.
At least when it gets to the bottom of it, at least it won't burst on you.
Yes, because glass, if it gets too
It'll
hot down
shatter.
at the bottom, that's when you have this accident, this fire
Right.
hazard. So a dish with a little bit of water.
A dish with water or a little metal plate. As long as it's metal or something with water that's going to contain it.
Okay, got it. Oh, so many great tips. Fall prevention. Tell me, of course, the tapetes, we've talked about
Right.
that. What other things, and do you go to different groups? If there's a group, maybe in a church, that wants a presentation on both of these wonderful topics that we've brought you to talk about, and the alarms, make sure that our homes are safe, and the elderly, what kinds of things do they experience that we need to tell them about to beware?
Okay, it's mainly the falls and the slips and falls, and then like the cooking is mainly the big ones that they
Okay.
do. But if they want a presentation like this or any of these presentations, they can call our office. They can also go on the website, and then under the El Paso Fire Department website, there is a column where they can drop down to services, and it says presentations and tours.
Very good.
And then that would be where you would click it, and then you would fill out your application, how you want it and what you want it. And it gets pretty much detailed.
Very good. And we do want to give a main phone number. You mentioned the 311. There's an extreme weather task force as
Yes,
well.
ma'am.
Where do they call for that?
Yes, ma'am. Extreme weather task force, whether it be hot or cold, they can call Texas 211, and they will get their information to help them out with that insofar as providing them a fan or in the summer, blankets in the winter.
Blankets in the winter, and
Yes,
we know Grace Ortiz and your great committee,
Yes, ma'am.
task force,
Yes, ma'am.
a lot of great people doing a lot of good work. But yes, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, and people, if they want to donate to that cause, can drop off fans or blankets at any of the fire stations.
Very good.
So-
And there's we're going to have to invite you back because there's also a Trowbridge fire station that you've turned into
Yes,
an
ma'am.
education center. And that's very interesting to me. And we want to give that 212 number. What number is that we want to give that? Area code 915?
Yes, ma'am. 915-212-5699.
Very good. Oh my gosh.
ma'am.
We need another segment.
Yes, ma'am.
And we want to invite you maybe 3 times a year to Mature Living to talk about the importance and touch on some of these other 17 or 18 points.
18 points.
Yes,
18
ma'am.
points. Oh, I'm going to have to remember. It's like the car. You know. Thank you so much for
Thank you so
being with
very
us.
much for
We
having us. We
appreciate
really
you
appreciate
all.
it.
I have a great story to tell you about my mom and firefighters, but I'll do that right now when we close the show. We'll see you all next week. Thank you for joining us.
La luna